Do you see this card, guys? You see this card? This is a good card. This is a good Pokemon card. You should try and get a couple of these cards. They're good cards. Is this a skit? Am I doing a skit? Welcome back, everyone, to more from the Sableyes. I'm Mitch, and today we're going to take a look at the poster child for Battle Styles. It is Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. Let's see how this thing's going to work over on PTCGO. The equation for us is simple. We need to get our Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX into play as soon as possible, and we need to get energy attached to it. Gale Thrust for 1 fighting energy deals 30 damage, plus if we've moved into the active from the bench, during our turn, we deal 120 more damage. So 150 for 3 is a pretty solid number, frankly. We've also got Gmax Rapid Flow, which is an easy enough attack to power up. It's 1 fighting energy plus 1 Rapid Strike energy. Almost said single strike there. And it deals 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. That can be incredibly good. The maths is quite nice. 150 plus 120 is 270, which lots of tag teams have. And you're going to be able to take some pretty solid knockouts on things like Dedenne and Crobat with Gmax Rapid Flow whilst setting up another Pokemon for a knockout later. Incredibly strong. We've got a couple of things to support it in the deck that are a little bit new and a little bit interesting. Obviously, I mentioned the Rapid Strike energy, which gives fighting and water and 2 copies of it for every energy that you have attached, which is really, really nice. We also have the new supporter card Cheryl in this deck. The deck uses it quite well. Not quite as nice as Corviknight does. We'll get to that one down the track, but Cheryl is incredibly good. Heal all of the damage from all of your evolution Pokemon and discard all of the energy from Pokemon that you healed damage from. That's fine. We only attach 1 energy per turn. We only need 1 energy per turn. So healing off that damage is incredibly good. Obviously, the weakness is a little bit concerning. That's why we play a copy of Jirachi-GX. Its Psychic Zone ability means that we don't apply Psychic Weakness on Pokemon that take damage from attacks, which is incredibly good. It means that Urshifu is almost invincible. There's not too many things that can knock it out in one hit. We can simply heal all of the damage off, attach another energy, and keep dealing 150 damage. What we'll do is we'll jump onto the ladder and we'll see if we can't get a couple of games with it. I reckon it's going to be relatively easy because, I'll tell you right now, this is a good card. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves what can only be described as a very nice start. We've got ourselves a Jirachi, we've got a V, and we've got an energy in hand, which I do like quite a lot. I don't think we want any of those cards, to be honest. I was looking for a quick ball or a com there. Let's attach the energy to our V, and I think we're just going to pass here. I don't think that there's anything else much really that we need to do. We'll just give it a bit of a pass. Now, you'll have to excuse me if I do make any glaring errors today. It is because I have just finished the Players' Cup 3 Week 1. I managed to go 4-0 in Week 1, which means that next Saturday Australian time, which is Friday night in the US, I'm considering doing a stream. It obviously does depend on whether my furniture's here or not, because you wouldn't believe it. It's been 2 weeks and my furniture still isn't here, and that's very frustrating. Also, I forgot to mention, if you want to see this list, it's down in the description, and you should go and check it out, as well as subscribing to the channel, liking the video, and if you want to, joining as a channel member. There's some great perks down there, and you get your name at the end of the video as well. If you don't watch that far, then that's what happens. But if you only do one of those things, just like it. Like the video. It means a lot. Alright, what's going on our opponent's side of the field? They've got a Volcanion with an energy on it, which is fine. They're going to Flare Start it to the Charizard. This is one thing that our deck does struggle with, is obviously taking knockouts in one shot. This is not a deck that does this. We're trying to set up attacks, right? So we are a little bit awkward when it comes to taking knockouts. Now, we can theoretically take 3 prizes this turn. If we manage to find a Pokecom off of the Jirachi and an energy off of the top deck, we could gust out the Dedenne and use VMAX's second attack to take 3 prizes in a row, which would be really, really nice. I don't know whether that's likely or not. This is the Flare Starter happening here from our opponent. They've got a bunch of energy on that Charizard. They've also got the Welder on there as well, which means that a VMAX is going to come down pretty soon and take a big knockout. We didn't manage to find either of the cards I mentioned. So let's go for a Jirachi here. The communication is good. We can grab Pokecom here, shuffle away either Dedenne or Zigzagoon. I think probably the Zigzagoon to grab ourselves the VMAX. We will throw that down. And now I've just got to make a decision about whether I want to Marnie or Dedenne. Because, I mean, I can switch into the VMAX and then attack the Volcanion, which is what I'm planning on doing. I think Marnie is smarter. We want to make sure it's as hard as possible for our opponent to set up their attacker. So if we can make that happen, that would be great. This hand's pretty good. We can Quick Ball here. We'll get rid of the Jirachi. I don't see them playing any Psychic Pokemon. And let's put down this Rapid Strike Urshifu on the bench. So we've got a backup just in case. Then we can use our first attack, Gale Thrust, for 150 because we moved into the active that turn. Take a knockout on the Volk, and we'll see what's about to happen here. Now, you might ask, Mitch, how is it that you get all of these cards? Because I've got Full Art Rapid Strike Urshifus, I've got the VMAXs, I've been incredibly lucky, I've opened quite a few, I've traded for quite a few. What I would recommend if you are a person that is just starting out, firstly, if you're buying packs, buy the packs, put the codes in, but also go to places like PotownStore.com or Card Cavern or all those kind of places that other Pokemon YouTubers are sponsored by. I'm not sponsored by anyone. I'm a freelancer. I'm a wild man in the bush. I just do whatever I want. This is awkward that this is going to stay in probably because this is looking like a good game. Anyway, the best thing about not being sponsored by anyone is I can go to any of these stores that I want and pick up the ones that are the cheapest or the ones that have the best deal. So what I would do is go to one of those different places, get the best deal you can, and then try and get some value out of it. We are looking like we're in a bit of an awkward spot. Let's put it that way. We've got energy, which is good, and we've got switch mechanics, which is fantastic. We don't have an energy though, which means if we find Cheryl off of this Jirachi, which we have done, that Cheryl would have been good if I'd found an energy, because we could have healed all of the damage off and then just gone straight in with another attack. But to be brutally honest, I think the only real play for us here is to Marnie. If we find an energy, which we don't, I mean, we could potentially get 2 prizes on Volcanion and Zigzagoon, but it may be worth just going for 120 damage onto the Charizard if we find it. I don't know. It's going to be awkward. We need to find an energy, period. So that's the Dedenne. And we've found both a fighting and a Rapid Strike energy. Alright, so my thought process here is I want to have the second VMAX on the bench because that means it can go straight into the active. I've got the energy to do 150. I think I'm going to attach to the Urshifu, and I'm going to G-Max Rapid Flow. We'll just take the knockout on the Volk and the Zigzagoon. This is not ideal. It's not perfect here. I would have much preferred to have dealt some more damage to our opponent's attacker, or dealt some damage to that Dedenne. But the reason I do this is because if our opponent plays down anything like Zigzagoon, or potentially a, I don't know, like a Jirachi or something like that, another Volcanion, like that one, for example. If we can get 2 energy onto our VMAX on the bench, which is going to be very tough for our opponent to knock out, we can boss up a Dedenne with 3 energy on there. We can use the second attack, Rapid Flow, to get ourselves a knockout. So it's okay. It's looking pretty solid. All the pieces are here. All the pieces are in motion. And I don't think that G-Max Wildfire is going to be able to take a knockout on our second VMAX immediately. Now, they could have another 2 Zigzagoons, because obviously they've got the Vitality Band on the active, which is going to deal an extra 10, so 310 there. If they have another 2 Zigzagoons and they ping those onto the VMAX, then that is going to be quite awkward. But my gut feeling says that he only has 1, which is why knocking that Zigzagoon out is actually not a bad idea. Means that we don't need to stress too much about getting knocked out ourselves. So I'm taking a gamble, but it's a gamble that is definitely worth taking. If our opponent doesn't have another Zigzagoon, then I don't think that they can win the game this turn, which means that I think we're almost, not guaranteed to win, but we're very likely. But it's all reliant on not having the Zigzagoon. Right, let's Stellar Wish here. We've attached our energy. Let's Stellar Wish into a Professor's Research. I like the sound of that. One of the things that I am afraid of is a Marnie here, so it might be worth using Professor's Research. Let's just have a look and see how many boss do I have? There are 3 more left in the deck. This deck plays 4 of them, right? Because getting the knockouts on Dedennes and stuff, it's kind of like ADP in that sense. Getting those knockouts make the game much, much easier. Now, what I could do is I could research here after this Crobat. Another VMAX is very, very good. This means we might be able to kind of synchronize attackers a little bit. That's one of the things that you can do when you've got 2 Urshifus in play. Do we just boss and take a knockout now, or do I just Gale Thrust into the active here? I mean, I could just hold the boss for next turn, attach the Rapid Strike and win the game. This is just a little bit awkward. Let's research and thin. We'll get rid of the whole hand. Hopefully, oh my goodness, hopefully we find something. A reset stamp is very good though. It means that they're less likely to find that Zigzagoon if they do have it. Let's Gale Thrust. We'll do 150. We are not going to be able to very easily get the knockout on the active, but it is putting pressure on. And if we find like a Pokemon, we can Dedenne or Crobat because we have extra copies of those. We have Switch and Escape Rope in hand, so that's all good. Escape Rope could be good depending on how the situation goes. I mean, if our opponent gives us a Dedenne or a Crobat, then I think we just win the game. But they're unlikely to do that. Unlikely. Here's the GMAX Wildfire. They've got the triple acceleration energy, which is very frightening. If there's 2 cards in their hand, if they've got Zigzagoon and Scoop Up Net, this game is over. But that's okay. Like I said, it was a bit of a gamble. We call it a bit of a gamble. No, nothing. Okay, so the reset stamp has worked for us. And we now have ourselves a chance to win the game this turn, if all goes well. I feel like we need to go into this Jirachi, because we want to find a quick ball so we can Dedenne to try and look for a boss, right? We need a boss and an energy, unless they put a Dedenne or a Crobat up now, in which case we only need an energy, but they're going to put up the Volk, almost certainly. But then, yeah, we should be fine. They just put the Dedenne up. Okay, this game has suddenly become a lot easier. We need to find an energy now, which means a quick ball is fantastic. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that, actually. That's my little ringer going off. That will stop in a second, I'm sure. We will quick ball. Let's quick ball away... I think we quick ball away a Marnie here, actually, because what we could do... sorry, I've been distracted. I clicked on the wrong thing. We should have quick balled away a Marnie there, because then we can Pokecom a couple of times and then research and stuff. But it's fine because we've got everything we need. It's not a problem. We just need to find one single energy here. If we switch into the VMAX, we can definitely Gale Thrust for the game, but we don't want to do that. We can get rid of the Marnie off of the Giant Hearth anyway. Then we can Crobat, draw a bunch of cards. If we find an energy, we win the game. GMAX Rapid Flow, we're going to take a knockout on the active. And on the Volcanion, we also found the boss's orders as well. So even if they had have given us the Volk, we still would have ended up winning that one. A very good showing from Urshifu VMAX. Let's see if we can roll that back against something a little bit more meta. Another decent start. Not as good, though. This one, I will say. Not as good. Better now. Let's see what we get off Stellar Wish. It's acceptable now. Okay, so... Quick Ball, pardon me, got a little bit of a frog stuck in my throat, gets rid of our reset stamp. We can grab ourselves a Urshifu here, put the energy on, I think that's perfectly fine, and then we can just scoop up this Jirachi and then pass, I think. I think this is fine. It gives us a chance to use the Dedenne next turn. We can attach the Rapid Strike energy if we want to try and get the VMAX powered up. Depends what we're playing against here. If this is ADP, then it looks like it is, then we probably do want to use the second attack from Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX as soon as we possibly can, because that'll get us into a nice position to knock out ADP next turn. So, thoughts are we probably don't want to bench anything else. Okay, well now this is fine. Okay, so now we can bench something. Bear with me here. What we can do, that research is so good. We can attach and then get the VMAX out right now if we want to. I think it's better to play the Jirachi and be a bit safer though. We can Stellar Wish, grab ourselves... Oh, nothing. We don't really need anything else here. Then now I've wasted it. Do I want to attach this energy? I think so. I think I want to switch into it. Means that we won't be able to... We're going to have to use the second attack here. Let's just research. I was in the exact same position if I had have just done the thing the first time, but I didn't. We'll get rid of this Marnie. We've not been punished. We are never punished. We'll grab another Urshifu here and then comment away. Grab ourselves the VMAX, which is very good. Get the VMAX GX Rapid Flow. These names are so long, guys. They're so long now. Let's GMAX Rapid Flow the active and the ADP. Now, let me talk you through the reason why this has happened, alright? Next turn, they're going to promote the ADP with a Water Energy and GX. If we find a Zigzagoon, and we're able to deal 150 damage with Gale Thrust, we will knock out the ADP. Okay? That's important. Then, if they ever play a Dedenne or a Crobat, we'll be able to gust it up with Boss's Orders and then use GMAX Rapid Flow from another VMAX to knock out the active Zacian and the benched Dedenne. And this is the way that this deck is kind of supposed to work, right? It's to attack a couple of times, spread some damage out, and then take some big knockouts. Now, I will say, there are other versions of this deck that play with things like Dragapult VMAX, those kind of energy spread decks. This could not energy spread, damage spread decks. That could definitely work. I've seen that for sure, but this is as a core concept is still pretty strong. We're going to need a little bit of luck though. Here's the GX attack. We're looking for one Zigzagoon and a couple of switches, which we've now got. We don't want to use the escape rope though. We want to attach the energy, then I think we want to switch into the Jirachi. To be honest, I think we probably just go for, yeah, let's scoop up. I probably should have researched instead of Jirachiing there, but at least now we've guaranteed that we've got the Jirachi out of the active. We've got the Gale Thrust, so we need one more card. We don't have it. We do have at least Crobat though. We can throw a whole bunch of these cards down. We'll stamp them to 6, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Then we can scoop up the Jirachi again. We can play that down. And then Crobat for 4. We need a Quick Ball or a Pokecom. We found a Pokecom. Alrighty. This is perfect. This is perfect. Zigzagoon. We can throw this down. We'll put the 10 damage onto the active. That has 150 left. Take the knockout. Knock out the ADP before they can get the attack off. That's the important thing. Before they can get the attack off, and we take 3 prizes. Now, here's the hard bit. Because we had to spread a whole bunch of basics out, they could still win. It will require a little bit of luck on their part, but if the game continues with no change, we can't win next turn, right? Even though we've got the Rapid Strike Energy and the boss, we cannot knock out a Zacian on the bench. We need to hope that they commit really heavily and go for a Dedenne or a Crobat. They've quick-balled for nothing. If they play Dedenne or Crobat, the game continues. We've got a good chance to win. Crobat. Alright, beautiful. This means if we don't get Marnied, or we don't get Crushing Hammered, that's bad. Okay, it's fine. It's bad. It's fine. That was a roller coaster of emotion. Professor's Research. Okay, we're still trying to avoid the copy of not of Reset Stamp. Well, I mean, Reset Stamp would suck. We're still trying to avoid the Crushing Hammerheads. It's a concern. We're in an awkward spot here. They're going to Eldegoss for a supporter. They've already played Research. We are about to win. Alright, so this is how this deck is supposed to work. We got a little bit lucky, but we've tanked the hit. We can theoretically do a whole bunch of other stuff. We won't worry about it. We'll just go straight for the jugular here. GMAX Rapid Flow into the Crobat and the Zacian. The Crobat's knocked out because of weakness. The Zacian's knocked out because of the damage that we dealt earlier. You can see why people rate this card so highly. Now, I'll talk about it in a second, but it's definitely got some potential, but there's problems as well. So like I mentioned, the deck does need a little bit of work. I don't think that list is going to be good enough to take it to the big boys just yet. But the card has so much potential that I would 100% recommend, if you haven't already, go out and get yourself a 4-3 line of Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX. It is by far one of the best cards in the set. That's why I ranked it at number 2 as the best card. Now, we haven't done Corviknight yet. We will do that soon. If you want to see that, as soon as it comes out. Make sure you subscribe, and if you like the content enough to support it monetarily, then that would be greatly appreciated as well. The people on the screen have done that. Thank you very much to the Dadbod and Azazel in particular, as well as Fernando, Yolo, Diego, Stephen, and Agent Abel. We've got a whole long list of Mega Sableyes now. Connor, Dario, Tomko, Sparksy, Kamikaze, Josiah, Austin, Stephanie, Chubwang, and Sam, Captain, and a Fairy. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming along today. Appreciate your company as always, and I will see you next time for more from the Sableyes. Bye.